What a way
Hey,
to start. Yawning? Really? Come on.
whatever. It cut down to under 40 seconds. What'd you do?
I didn't cut nothing down. We're at 52
Oh, it
seconds now.
came back
Check that out.
at 6. It came back at 36.
You have no sense of timing. You really
I'm
are.
watching the thing up here. The little counter. It
Are
actually
you
said
sure you're not like the
36.
dog man in disguise or something because you got no sense of timing like a dog?
Whatever. Yeah, see? Here, look. This is me. Here.
Yeah, I see
I would rather be this than a fucking vampire.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah. It's like one of the ladies said whenever I'm sitting here just like this. The ears show up behind me.
Yeah, say it works.
So, well, anyway, what are we doing?
We're having
I guess this is our end of the world
end of the world.
broadcast.
No.
Well,
End of the year.
end of 2020, and that's pretty much the end of the world because everything that's happened this time around, and during this entire year has just basically been, if you follow the good book, a lot of it's been written in Revelations. So we are actually we're entering an interesting era because on the 21st, on the winter solstice, we had an event happen in our beautiful night sky that a lot of people, no one has seen in almost 800 years, and that was the Great Conjunction, which is how Jupiter and Saturn aligned perfectly to create what they called the Bethlehem or the Christmas star, which is allegedly the star that appeared in the sky during the birth of Jesus, for the three kings to follow and find their way to the manger to welcome the new king, King of Man. It's kind of interesting, but that happened. And then we're also entering the age of Aquarius again.
Yeah, see.
Well, hopefully we can all kind of do that.
That's what we're hoping. So we're here
we
without
are
a guest
Hang
for the
on,
first time in a while,
I'm
too.
answering this here. Yes,
Okay.
we are entering the age of Aquarius, along with the Great Conjunction. And also there is an event that's happening, and I don't know if anybody's really paid close attention to this, but there are more and more children that are being born. Hey, Janet. There are more and more children that are being born.
Merry Christmas.
And that are experiencing what what scientists would consider super intelligence. These children, they're learning faster, they're learning better, they've got more intelligence than the previous generations. And no, it's not Joe's birthday. So that's also called the Great Awakening. So there are three events that are happening that are converging together. That are it's a great sign for massive change in our world, and I think I'm prepared for it. I've been looking forward to something like this because, like I said, with the Bethlehem star or the Christmas star, that hasn't been seen in almost 800 years, and then of course entering the age of Aquarius right around that time, the time that actually happens, and then also having the Great Awakening. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting year next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
All right, let's get on with what we came here for. what we went on with this special show that
Yes, we were
we
supposed
were,
to be done for the year, but
but yeah, the big but, we've got a lot of things going on.
that's pretty cool,
Um,
Billy.
we are now. Let's see, where can we start? Yeah, we are now booked the
We're
first
booked for our
for the
season
first
3.
quarter. For the first quarter, we are now booked with guests for the first quarter every Wednesday and Friday. So it's going to start out to be an interesting year when we start.
And we're starting again on the 6th. That's going to be
No,
the
we
beginning.
don't know yet. We
Oh, I
can't
thought
say
you
that.
said that.
Nope,
I thought,
nope, 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 nope. We can't say what date yet.
whatever.
We can't do
I
that
thought that's
because
what
we
you told
don't
me.
know. We don't know yet because we don't know what's going to
Okay.
happen until
Okay.
Tuesday,
Okay.
or no, Monday.
All right. So
No.
I guess I overstepped.
Yep, yep, yep. You overspoke. Yes, you
Wow.
did.
Then
You
strike
gotta,
strike
you
my
gotta,
comments from the
you
record.
gotta, you gotta slap yourself on the wrist now.
Nope. Strike my comments from the records.
All right. So now,
Erase that little section.
here we are. We've got we're booked all the way into March with guests. I can say that much.
Yeah.
And also in March, we do have a very, very special show for everybody, but we're not going to say too much about that either. We're going to keep y'all guessing. Okay.
I tell you, him and his guessing games.
I know. It's fun, though. I love it. It's going to keep you wanting more. All right.
Maybe. But
So we decided to come out and give you a little news about what's coming up. We are working hard behind the scenes to make some changes. Um, and we'll tell you about them when we can. And as soon as we can, we will make posts about some of
definitely
the
will.
changes.
Yeah, we will definitely be keeping posts up. Hey Ben.
Um, I can say that last night we did register and become an LLC, our production company side of things. So that
Yep.
means
So
the
all of our little stuff
Utterly Insane
that's
Productions
under
is
it.
now an LLC, and I'll be making a lot of changes all over for that on social media and such. Um, we got a new camera that we're going to be adding to our investigations, and we're hoping that next year we'll be able to go out because we've got quite the bucket list built. We've made some possible new connections to go some places that we haven't been before,
Yep.
and there's just a couple of places we just really have to go back to.
Yep.
So there will be some repeats, but all of that's going to be part of our next season, one way or the other. Um, so we might have some really big news coming up, but we won't know much yet. We're in the works with something good. So hopefully.
So what'd you do different there, Joe? Were I actually able to hear you better?
Oh, oh, I've got a mic stand that's not. I've got one that came in the other day. That's got sits right on the desktop here. It's a little mini tripod that sits right in front of me, and it's at its perfect level too. Believe it or not.
Yeah, but it's still whenever you back up a little or go
Well,
forward, it
I
in,
can't
in
help
and out.
that. Excuse me.
It's almost like you're playing with a fade on a mixer
Well,
board.
yeah, I don't have the mixer board. Yeah, see that's the other problem. We don't have the mixer board hooked up here yet anymore.
Well, at least not for now.
But
I
those
mean,
things could change too in the
those
future.
those could change too. We might be able to at some point get an actual studio together. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we've got some cool things in the works. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. That's going to be fun. But now onto the best part of this. It's going to be real fun because any of you out there, I did pin the link, so you can actually come up here and join us if you want. And we're going to start talking about. And I don't want to offend anybody, but if we leave people out, I'm sorry. It's because we're going to be limited on some time here.
We're gonna try to keep this around an hour.
If we go over a little bit, it might not be too bad, but I don't want to sit here too long. I'll tell you this. Um, and this is my own fault, not to blame Mark, but it is my own fault. I could have sat someplace else, but his dog kind of, I got this thing with animals, so, just wanted my attention constantly if I sat down in a certain spot. So I didn't sit there. So I sat in this other chair and I was a little bit uncomfortable, but I couldn't help but to sit there and just, because we were watching Wonder Woman 1984. And we're not going to give anything away, but it's worth watching. That's all I'm saying about that.
Yeah, because I got HBO
It's
Max,
worth watching. And oh, make
and that
sure you.
it was exclusively on that
And here's the one
Christmas
hint.
Day
And here's the one hint I can
at
say.
theaters.
Make sure you watch past the credits.
Yes, you definitely want to watch past the credits. They do a
You
post credit
don't
thing.
want to miss the post credit stuff. So that's all I'm saying about that. I'm going to leave them guessing there too. So
But otherwise,
that
it was
was,
a very good movie.
yes, it was worth watching. It was really worth watching. I watched that over at Mark's house, and because I sat in that chair the whole time, didn't really take a break at all. Yeah, I kind of, so my leg aches a little bit. So I'm just gonna see how I feel and as this goes along. But if we don't mention everybody, and we probably ain't gonna mention everybody, we had
We'll mention as many as we can.
we're going to mention some of our favorites is what's going to happen, and you can talk about some of your favorites if you watched our show. Okay, but we started because of the COVID thing and not being able to go out for the investigations. We started having guests this year, and we had, how many guests did we have, Mark? Do you know exactly?
Let's see.
And we didn't start until like 6 months ago for the guests. I think it was June that
I
our
think we
first
had
guest was.
25 or 26, something like
That
that.
sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I
So
think
that's
I
a
wrote
guesstimate.
everybody down, so
So
I
so
got
so
25 on here.
so we started this new venture, and we had a lot of fun.
My
Oh,
little
we
list.
well, we've been having a lot of fun, and we've been learning a lot
But we did
from
we
all
we
kinds of
actually
people.
did we actually did get to go out. I think at least 3 or 4 times this last year
Yes,
or
yes,
this year,
right,
from the beginning of the year until now, that we were
yes,
able to go out and do some investigation. I know we
and
did Tom.
and
We did off the rails. The Tom and Molly from Off the Rails, their house. We did that
private home
as a private home
investigation.
investigation, and
Then
we went
then
up
my
to
cousin in
Baraboo to meet our
Baraboo,
cousins and did
right,
her house as a private investigation.
and then recently on Halloween we did the
And
mill
we did
with
Halloween, yep,
with
Grafton Mill,
Christopher
Halloween.
Kai House and his wife, and
And didn't we do
and
a?
and that was
Oh,
also Tom and Molly from Off
that's
the
right. And
Rails.
then we have 8 hours of footage that we're going to be using with our next go around when we get a chance to from Elkhorn area.
Yeah, we're working on a documentary. We're gonna
Yeah,
work on it. We're gonna put this together as a documentary. There's just too much there, and too much about the Beast of Bray Road and the Elkhorn area that needs that kind of attention, I think. And
right.
I want to try to make a documentary, and I've been fascinated with Beast of Bray Road for a very, very long time,
Yeah.
longer than we've been doing this.
And we were scheduled to go out there. I think back in October, September, something like that,
Yeah, yeah, and then
or August, late August, to do
yeah,
an
and
overnight, and
with
that fell
Dale
through.
Kazmarek. And we were
Right,
going to do
fell
that with
through.
Dale Kazmarek was going to join us, and that
Smart.
fell through because of the Illinois travel ban
Yeah, because Illinois put
uh,
Wisconsin on their
on
crap
their
list.
list. Yeah,
So we wound up having to put that on hold. But we're
yeah, and
still going to be.
They did that like 3 days before we were going to go.
Yeah, that sucked too because we were really psyched. We had everything
Yeah,
ready. But yeah, we are definitely looking to do it this upcoming year, and obviously it's not going to be during the winter time
hell no.
because
I'm
there'd be somebody that'd be standing out there as an icicle for their entire time.
yeah, I'm already cold as it is all the time. I don't need to be colder out in the winter. I'm a vampire. I don't have no circulation. You
Whatever.
know.
But
Eh,
but yeah, I mean,
I say
that's
it long
sort
enough,
of.
I might actually turn into one, maybe.
But yeah, no, this is me right here.
Gee
I want
whiz.
to be one of these. I would rather
So
be this guy than a vampire any day.
yeah, here you go. Yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah,
we've got some good stuff coming up. We've got some really good guests. We are booked all the way into March now.
yeah.
So
But yeah,
it
Janet, you guys live up in Michigan though.
yeah, that's cool too.
You're a little higher than we are. You should be a little colder up there.
So anyway, we're going to talk about some of our past guests because we've had 20 some odd guests since June when we had our first guest, and from that time until we decided to take the break just before Christmas, we didn't have every Wednesday and Friday filled. So
Right.
this is going to be a small one compared to what this show is going to be like next year.
We're gonna have a lot of content for next year's show. We're
You know,
starting. We're gonna be starting out earlier and then having
yeah,
guests
and we're
and then
hoping to
getting
get
out
out on a
really
lot more
investigations.
investigations. Because that
So
bucket list was
Joe,
supposed to get smaller, not bigger this year.
yeah, but I think it got bigger.
It
So
got bigger.
so who was our first guest this year?
Our
The,
first guest,
this time around.
that was our first guest was
I got some information on him right here.
Mike Huberty. Huberty.
Huberty.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I am terrible with trying to pronounce anything, even names.
Oh, that's okay.
But yes, he was Mike. I gotta say this. Mike was our first guest, and he was a
And
real
it was kind
sport.
of
He
yes,
was a real
it was an
sport
interesting setup.
because first of all, Mark got told he had
I
to
wound up having to work late.
more added to his route, so he had to
I
stay
yeah,
longer.
I had to take care
So
of a few more things.
so that kind of pissed him off because he was really looking forward to that interview. All right, and then I started having audio issues on my end, so Mike, being the pro he was, kind of took over for a few minutes there. And yeah, he was a real pro about the whole thing and a good sport about it. So and oh, by the way, I'll give you a little hint too. He will be back one way or the other.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's definitely in the works to get him back on.
yeah, so
So
he
anyway,
was a fun person.
him and one of his cohorts from
Cohorts.
cohorts. I can't even say it right. See,
Cohorts.
from the 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 band or group that he has called
Sunspot.
Sunspot.
Yeah,
Actually, good music. Need
they're a
to
Wisconsin
bring
local
it in.
band too.
Yes, they're a Wisconsin local band. So if you guys want to
They're
listen to some good
yeah,
Wisconsin music,
just
to
check
bring
them
them up.
out.
They got some good stuff. It's Mike, Wendy,
And
and Ben
Ben in Sunspot. Yes.
in Sunspot. But Mike and Wendy have a podcast that they do, which is called "See You on
See
the
you
Other
on the other
Side,"
side podcast. Yes.
and they talk about ghosts and
Paranormal world.
paranormal world as well. And then also Mike and his sister. Now we're gonna go into Miss Allison Jornlin.
Another
That's Mike's
guest we had.
another guest we had. That's Mike's sister.
Yes.
Um, Mike and his sister also are the founders and I guess tour guides of American Ghost Walks, which I think originated right here in Wisconsin as well. In fact, I think they do some stuff up at the college there in Madison, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. We have another. We actually. Um, There's another little kind of hint or spoiler alert for you. We have a future guest actually that does lead the UW investigation for American Ghost Walk tours coming up between now and March, or between January and March. And she has also been a firefighter for the city of Madison for 20 plus
Well,
years.
she is. I'll put it to you this way: she is booked and will be
Yeah.
on as long as everything
Nothing
goes
goes
correctly.
right. Yeah.
Because
Anything
if
can happen.
if anything that I've discovered doing this, anything can happen.
Oh
You can
yeah,
have
yeah. We've had
all
some.
kinds of weird crap.
Yeah, we've had some that we looked forward to, and they canceled out at the last minute.
Yep.
Or we'll get to that one.
Well,
We'll get. To,
of course, with what happened with Joe, that on the very first one was, he had to solo it because of me not being able to get there,
no,
and then
I was so nervous. I was
he
so
goes and has
nervous
all the
because
problems.
I was sitting there and I was researching Mike and I was listening to the music, some of that music that that Sunspot did, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. And and another, I'll give another props and shout out to the person that helped us in a way get Mike on our show to give us a start. My cousin Jimmy K from Max Inc. Radio, who has interviewed Mike and Sunspot several times because
Hmm.
he's the one. Jimmy K is the one that told me about Mike and his crew. So I was like super nervous for that, and then to have to do it alone, that was nerve wracking. But like I said, it was also fun at the same time because Mike was a real pro.
And
Yeah,
then, so we've mentioned Mike and we mentioned Allison. Um, well, I guess I'll mention Dale as well because you brought his
yeah.
name up.
Well, that plus he's the reason. When we had Dale on the first time, Dale's been doing this for 40 some odd years. Dale
Now this is
Kazmarek.
this is ironic, actually. The first time we had Dale on, this is very ironic.
All right. Um, we had the first show and it went great. We had a great
No,
time with it. Well,
no. Remember the first show?
oh yeah,
Remember what happened the first show?
oh
This
yeah,
is
that's
why it's
right. Yeah,
ironic. You want me to
that's
tell
right.
the story on this one?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, the
All
first one.
right. We had him lined up, got him on, got everything going. Right about the time Joe hits the live button, Joe loses power at his house. So we
Yeah,
no
there was a
longer have
storm going
Joe.
on. Yeah, there was a storm going on though at the time.
So we no longer have Joe. But Dale and I were still on. Hi, Molly. So Dale and I, you know, we continued with the interview. So I got to solo that one.
Yeah,
And then after everything was done and over with, and we were
I was coming in
gonna
via.
go done.
I was text messaging in like everybody
He's
else
he's
is
on his
now.
phone. Joe is on his phone, text messaging and stuff.
Thank God for Spectrum at that
And,
time.
well, yeah, if you would have had U.S. Cellular, you wouldn't have had service
Yeah,
out at your house. So I wound up doing the show with Dell as a solo act on that. That's how come it's ironic because the very first
and I wanted to do
guest
that
he
one
had to do
because
it.
he had been doing the paranormal stuff for like over 40 years or 40 since the
I'm
70s, and
not
it's
sure
like,
about
man,
40,
I
but
really wanted to talk to him. He's
yeah,
been doing it
it
since the
was
70s.
really, yeah, I know. He's been into it since the '70s. So yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I actually enjoyed that one in the conversations I had with him. And then of course we had to leave it live while Joe was waiting for his power to come back on. And then he got the bright idea and called me and asked if I could just log in on my end.
I had to walk you through and log it in
So he logged me in on my end, and I
so
was
that
able
you
to
could have the
stop the
broadcast,
broadcast.
but nobody was there.
But yeah, that was just nuts. It was
Technology,
crazy.
that's technology for you in
And that's
this kind of world.
that's kind of the a good explanation of things that can go wrong.
Right,
You
right.
know, we get some weird stuff that happens, and then you never know.
But then there was, but then there was the time we had our first guest. I'm sitting there still working on getting some guests, and then all of a sudden the message comes up. Less than 24 hours, I think it was, before our show was supposed to be, and they had to cancel for some
Yeah,
reason. Or they had to reschedule. Yeah, I remember this. It was Mike's sister. She had to reschedule because Mike had her scheduled for something else that Wednesday night.
that's right.
So So because of Mike,
Again.
again, no, I'm just kidding.
No.
But it is kind of funny. Um, she rescheduled because she was only on that following Friday, so it was just 2 days later.
Yeah.
So because anyway, I talked to Dale, and then we had Dale on that Wednesday night that Allison was supposed to be on, and that show went for like 2 hours with
That
Dale
show went
time.
for 2 hours because at that time Dale and his crew had just got
Just
back from
got back from
Gettysburg,
Gettysburg. Yeah.
and we talked a lot about their experiences down there and the places that they went, which was really cool.
Another one of my favorites. We got I gotta mention this one because this one she really she really got one of my I had to go back and rewatch some of these documentaries about Ma Barker and the boys.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. And when we got Dr. Christy Sumner on,
Hmm.
from Soul Sisters Paranormal, man, that was
Out of
that was
Florida.
out of Florida. That was a great show, and to find out that she was involved in, you know, helping keep history intact
Yeah,
and moving
yeah,
that
and moving
house,
moving the Ma Baker house and making sure it stayed
Ma
intact.
Barker
Or Ma
house.
Barker, excuse me.
But that was a
I
fun
always
one.
misspeak, but no, being involved in that and moving that and keeping it intact and not letting it be torn down
I
and
mean that
lose a
is
part of
that
history.
is that is something that just demands respect. I mean, she's sitting there helping preserve history, and that was just so cool.
Yeah.
And to hear the history, from somebody that did a lot of research on that place, and about all of that. That was like, yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. And then when you talk about Chris Sumner, you can't forget Miranda Young.
Yes. Ghost biker experience
Yeah, exploration.
exploration. See again. I'm being like Joe now. Joe will look at a word and read it wrong, and pronounce it wrong, and then I now I'm doing the same thing he does.
Oh yeah, yeah. We won't forget Corby.
Oh, we're not forgetting Corby.
We'll get to that. But yeah, then there was Miranda Young, the 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 woman that got won. We found out just before we had her on, and I didn't know about this because I was looking into, and I'm going wait, and then I was watching that movie like 2 days before. She had her picture taken with the wolf that was Ralph in the Rampage movie with The Rock. Now
Hmm.
that was cool as hell. But then to find out though, she's like this woman that goes out exploring on her motorcycle
She does
without a team.
investigations. Yeah, she does solo investigations, or she does have a person that is a camera person that goes with her too.
Right, but still, I
But
mean
she
that,
does it
that
all. She does it all on her motorcycle,
I mean that was just in some of
or
the
most
stories she
most of it
shared
all
with
on her
us was
motorcycle, which is awesome. It's
yeah.
just freaking
I
awesome.
mean it was just you couldn't resist talking to her about that. I mean,
Or we should actually say it this way: she does it on her Harley,
yeah,
because Harleys are not just motorcycles.
no.
Harleys are Harleys.
Harleys are the motorcycle.
Yes, they are the motorcycle. Oh, and then I seem to remember that we also did a show here recently. Um, these women out of Michigan. God, what was their name again? I remember one of them. She kept coming in and out of the broadcast, and she was driving at the time. God, the name's right at the tip of my tongue. I just
You just I just gave you the answer.
I know, I know. I think her name was Janet Ramsey and her crew. Oh, that was a fun one. That was absolutely
Yeah,
hilarious
they were
and
out of
fun.
Michigan.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean that was
I had
one
a
of the
lot of fun with that one.
I mean, those last, yeah, the last two at the end, man. When we had those last two shows at the end there, her show and then
And then
we
the and
had
then
Karen Fry
yeah, Karen
and
Karen Fry and Jolene.
yeah, yeah, Jolene
Uh,
Lockwood Jackson.
yep.
Yeah,
Oh yes, Janet, phenomenon.
and they were from the UK.
Oh yeah, those two were from the UK, and they were fun too. They were awesome. Very
I mean that
intuitive.
was a way to kind of end our season there. You know, yeah, it was a blast. I mean, we got to get out that way too because that one place they were talking about in Michigan sounds like it's a must add to our bucket list to go to.
Yes,
You know,
yes, definitely.
and Michigan's kind of like a neighbor. It's not that far away.
Well, no, it's not too far for us. It's
Oh,
like a half a day drive, if
right,
that.
right. Depending on the way you
Well,
go.
she said they're in the lower part of the lower Michigan, on the other side of Indiana.
Right.
But the place they were talking about, not exactly sure if it's in their area or if it was up a little higher. She could fill us in on that.
Yeah. See, that's where my
Oh,
memory.
you're welcome, Janet.
Oh yeah, it was. Thanks. Anytime you can come back again.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
guys
I
can come
mean,
back
sure.
again anytime that we
You
got
got
open.
something new, you got something new to tell us, just hit us up and we'll have you
Or
on
heck, if you
again.
just want to
You know,
come on and shoot the crap with us every now and then, you can do that too. Because we're pretty much neighbors.
yeah.
But yeah, the two out of the UK, they were fun. What was that? What's that thing that they um Joe? What is that
Uh, I'm looking it
event that
up.
they got over there? I actually want to go to it. It's going to be in September this upcoming year. I'd love to be able to get the money together to go over there.
Festival of the Unexplained.
Thank you, Festival of the Unexplained. Yeah,
And
that would be a blast to go over there and check that out.
and their team was kept paranormal.
Yeah,
KEAP.
KEAP kept. Um, Janet says Elois, Westland, Michigan. That's the place.
Eloise.
Or Eloise.
Eloise.
God, I can't even pronounce things right. See that? He's rubbing off on me. I
No,
tell you.
how can I be rubbing off on you when I know how to pronounce that right? Because I remember when she, because I brought up the picture, I found the picture of the place and stuff, and it's like,
Whatever.
yeah, I read about it too. It's
Whatever.
like, yeah, I want to go. I want to
Whatever.
check that place out. And there's so many interesting stories that we got told, and so much we learned because not everybody uses the same equipment. But I have
No,
learned one thing: most of the people in the paranormal world are unlike any other groups out there. They're real nice, friendly, willing
they
to
all seem to be
give you
very
some
friendly and
tips and
willing to
tricks.
give you tips.
Yeah, especially if they've been in it a long time and stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
look at Dale, uh, the U.S. Paranormal Research Team. I mean, when we first ran into them, long before we even
U.S.
had
Paranormal, yes, we ran into them down in Whitewater,
long,
Wisconsin.
long, yeah, long before we even decided to have guests.
Yeah, it
That was
was
back
before
in
we.
2019. We ran into them,
Yep, it
and we were
was.
doing the Witches of Whitewater deal. That's where we ran into them. Yes, and they were a blast to have on as well as guests.
Hmm.
But they were kind of giving us little tips and tricks because they found out we were like new to doing what we were doing out there.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
so they were giving us some friendly advice and answering questions and actually talking to us real civil and being really nice and really polite, and it was so cool. I mean, we knew they had to be in it for a long time because the fact is it was a big, the truck had a
They're a
big
pretty good sized
billboard on
group
it.
too. There's
Yeah, and they
about
were
what,
pretty good
seven of
size.
them, 7 or 8
Yeah,
of them,
yeah, and that
and we
custom
did
made.
have them all on. We did have
What
them
was that?
all on.
Yeah, what was that custom thing that he made?
Oh God, I can't even
Can
remember
you
what they
remember what
called
that
it.
was?
I
That was
can't remember what they
huge,
called it,
but it
but
was
it was
huge.
it was a speaker box thing, It's kind of, I think it was similar to a spirit box, but it wasn't actually
Yeah,
a
and
spirit
they
box.
had special. And when we were out there, we noticed that they had special access to one of the like crypts
The
or
water
whatever it's
tower.
called. Yeah, that too.
They
But
had
they also
access to
were
the,
in.
yeah, yeah, and they also had the one cemetery that's over by by the strip mine thing there,
Yeah,
where the, I think it was they had access to the one crypt there that they opened up.
right, right. Because they also, yeah,
So and then yes, I know we have. Thank you. No.
yeah. We've had some fun guests. Yeah, there's. Oh my God, we could go on for hours talking about some of these guests
Oh
that
hell
we've
yeah.
had. I mean,
We've had a lot of fun guests, a lot of interesting and very helpful and
and I can't wait to get
willing to
back in the
open up.
field. I sure did miss not being able to go this summer,
Oh God, I
Molly. I
wanted to
tell you,
go
I
out so
really
much.
do. And I've got a brand new camera coming on Wednesday to add to our equipment.
Yeah, well, I gotta wait a little bit before I get the camera I want to get.
Yeah, but you got that spotter scope on your end, though, too, that I don't have. So,
I
I
know.
mean, we've got a couple pieces of equipment that we haven't been able to use at all this year,
Yep.
you know,
We
because
definitely need to
we
get some more. We
we
definitely
got
need
a,
to get some more voice
what is
recorders.
that? That's a full spectrum 4K,
It's
full
a full
spectrum.
spectrum Ultra 4K camera.
Yeah, that's what's coming in on Wednesday. So, and we are now officially going to be an LLC. Utterly Insane Productions is, and Insane Asylums is under that an umbrella, basically.
Yep. Anyway, I'm looking it up here, Joe. It's a 4K Wi-Fi full spectrum camcorder, Ultra HD infrared night vision paranormal investigation video camera with 60 FPS, 24 megapixels, 30 times zoom, um, and it comes with two batteries, a 32 gig SD card included, plus a infrared flashlight.
Yeah,
Comes with the flashlight. The flashlight's similar to the light I got for that spotter scope.
yeah. I ordered that last night.
Yep.
Yes,
So that's what you're getting,
right. So anyway, and now I'm going to
and
say this.
I'm looking into getting a Rebel T7.
So, and we've got a lot more that we're working on. As you see, this is just a little rough thing right now. I've got some other ones I'm going to work on and switch this out. But we've got like this layout here, which has got a little logo thing to ask you to subscribe to our
No,
YouTube
we're
channel.
not done talking about our guests.
You know, well, I'm sorry, I get sidetracked.
You get
I'm
sidetracked all the
tired.
time.
I'm tired. It's been a long day for me already. It's been
But
a
I think the one that like and I'm saying this, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I think the absolute top for me out of all of our guests
let me
was
guess,
was
Corby.
Corby.
Yeah, I thought so.
Corby Mitlade. Um, she was freaking awesome.
Yeah, she's a tarot card reader.
I think she was the only uh, guest we had that well, she wasn't the only guest we had that wasn't a paranormal investigator, because we did interview your friend about the COVID. We did a COVID show, and then we interviewed Jimmy, and he's
Okay,
he's
hold on,
a
hold on, hold
radio
on,
host.
hold on,
But
hold on.
Corby, she was fun. She was freaking awesome
Oh, I
fun.
did that wrong.
What'd you do?
I did that wrong.
She was actually pretty funny. So what are you trying to do here? Yes, Molly, she is amazing. She is absolutely amazing.
There.
to roller skates and disco balls, I was still reading cards. I loved the pictures. I loved the stories they told.
Yeah, she was fun
So for
to.
20 years, read for friends. All of a sudden in 1994, I could do hands-on healing and talk to dead people with no training. That's when God handed me my draft notice and said, "Greetings, you're working for me." So I did it part-time.
Yes, all our
Meanwhile, being
guests
an
are
actress, an
great.
author, an
I
inspirational
agree.
speaker, a legal assistant, a video producer, an
And
executive
like
recruiter on the
again,
show.
like I said, I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
yeah. All our guests were
offend
amazing.
anyone, but
All
in
our guests were
my
amazing.
whole
But
opinion, I liked Corby. She
the
was
way she told
absolutely
her stories,
amazing. Her
and
story,
they made
everything.
you
She
laugh.
was, oh yeah,
She made you laugh. She was
she
great.
kept your attention,
And I
and
gotta
made
say
you
this
laugh.
before I forget. I gotta say this before I forget. There's two things about Corby that I remember. All right, one, this was before the show. This all took place before the show. Trying to get her on the show took a little bit.
You can bring it down if you
Okay,
want.
trying to get Corby on the show took a little bit. Okay, and the reason I said that is because she basically didn't want to be on a paranormal show or a show where she thought that she might get somebody asking her about tarot readings or something. No, this was all about Corby. This is all about promoting you. This is what we do. So she took a little bit to talk her into it, but when we got her in there, she had a blast. She even said that afterwards.
Yep.
We go into the green room, and this is what I hope, and someday I hope. Um, Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ash.
I hope that someday StreamYard will allow us to record what we call the green room here. We've been calling the green room, and what I mean by that is when we end the broadcast, there has been on occasion where some of our guests have stayed
They
and
stick
chatted with
around,
us
chat with us,
and chat with us longer, and it would have been
pretty much
so
off.
cool to record some of that off the air chat just for like some special, you know, extra added stuff because some of that stuff was so funny behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
Or here's another great guest that I liked. All right, I got a fascination with somebody because of the fact that my mom made a joke. Okay, and everybody's probably heard this story, but I'm going to say it again quick. My mom looked at me while I was taking her around town, driving her around, chauffeuring her around, playing taxi cab for my mom, and she's like, "You kind of look like Charles Manson," and it's like, "Yeah, thank you, mom. That's real nice, you know." And so ever since then, I've kind of had fun with it. Well, we had remember William
William
Harder,
Harder.
yes,
And
friends.
the reason we got hooked up to be able to talk to him
I'm getting to that too. Your niece
is because of
Jennifer,
my niece Jennifer out in
yes,
California.
yes,
She's actually friends with this guy.
and she told us about him after we were talking about him on one of our shows because we were talking about
We
Manson
were
on one of
talking
our
about
shows,
Manson,
and
not William.
she
We weren't talking
right, we
about
were
William.
talking
We were
about
talking about
Manson.
Manson.
Yeah, we were talking about Manson on one of our shows, and she brought it up, and we contacted him, and he agreed to come on our shows. Now this guy was friends with Manson for quite a long time, and he was a very interesting character and had some great stories to
He had a
tell
whole lot
us.
of great stories.
And he also had some cool stuff to show us. And what he showed us during the show was nothing compared to what he showed us
Yeah,
after the
that was
show
just the
behind the
tip
scenes.
of the iceberg of for the stuff he's got. And then when we were
This
in the green room behind, after the broadcast, man, he let it all out, and
he was a yeah
he's got tons of interesting stuff.
you talk about that was a
I'd
great
actually like
show.
to talk to him again.
Yeah, we did and that's the nice thing, and I'm going to say this across the board because I can, and you'll agree with me. It seems like every guest we've had said that they'd come back again at some point.
Well, yeah, and I'd love to have
Yeah,
him back again at some point because
yeah,
they're
and
also all of them were great. All of them were awesome.
oh yeah, I mean, it was, um, you know, and that's also made it a hard choice for what's coming up too.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
we were planning on
because of
doing.
all the,
This is supposed to be a top 5 for us.
but that plus the what's coming up in March,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it made that a tough choice too.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
but that got done too, and all but one spot so far. So, but that'll keep people wondering about that. But that's a special, and that's going to be a fun one too. That'll be our that'll be a way to really you know kick off before we start, because if things go right, we've always planned to start back to investigating right around March.
Yeah,
So that'd be a way to kick off us going back out on the road and checking places out too with
yeah,
that one. So,
definitely.
but yeah, we got a lot of big plans. We have had a lot of great guests, made a lot of great friends, both locally. Gotten a guest from the UK. Again, that was a great
Officially
show.
made it across the pond.
You know, Michigan, Tennessee, Florida, you know,
Yeah.
Colorado. I mean,
Wasn't there one in Carolinas?
yeah, I think so. I mean, but
I think
it's
his
been,
name was Jake Fife.
can't can't forget Illinois. Jake Fife, yeah, he was,
Yep.
yeah, Fife
And
Paranormal.
cannot forget Illinois with
Yeah,
Kazmarek.
uh, Jake Fife was the father son team,
Well, Jake
wasn't it?
Fife, yeah, Jake Fife was the young
The one
kid,
that started out he
and
started out in the
he only
paranormal
did.
world
We
as
were
at 7 years old, wasn't it?
something like that. We were
Yeah,
video. We were video, and he was audio only because he was
his
embarrassed.
room. He was
Embarrassed
embarrassed
about
about his
the
room.
mess of his room.
Yeah,
So, but he was the one that talked about Bigfoot,
right.
and I'm pretty sure it was in the Carolinas. He was. I think his place was up in like
Yeah,
South Carolina
I
or something
believe
like that.
so. I believe so.
But yeah, we talked about Bigfoot with him. So, and he was pretty cool. He was awesome. I liked him too. And then Pim, remember Pim? Paranormal Investigators in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, we met them too beforehand.
Yes, we have. We
It
met
was
them. In
let me
fact,
think who that was. It was
was
somebody
that
in
not?
Michael Gravy. It was Michael Gravy. They just called him Gravy, and I can't remember the other guy's name right offhand. I don't have my book in front of me. But we met them at the first Wisconsin Paranormal, or the first Wisconsin Podcast Association
Yes,
festival. The one that we didn't get the one that we didn't get nominated because we joined the whole thing too late at that point. But we were
right.
down there and had a blast, and they were off the rails guests for that, and we
It
got a
was
chance to
Noah. It
talk to them.
was it was Noah and Gravy.
Yeah, Noah and Gravy. Yeah, yeah, and they were also off the Noah and Gravy were also the ones that were off the rails guests in Milwaukee that day, and we got to meet him there that
Right,
day
and we
and
did get
talk
to
to
meet
him.
him at that point.
Yeah, because Tom introduced us to him.
Hmm.
So
And they take more of a scientific approach
yeah,
to a lot of their investigations. Um,
but they've got a great sense of humor too, because
oh
that
yeah,
was
they
a
do.
fun show.
Yes, they do.
I mean Noah couldn't lay off Gravy about things there for a
About a
while.
K2 meter,
Yeah, about a K2
a
meter.
damn K2
That's it.
meter. Because I guess Gravy hates the fucking K2 meters,
Something.
and Noah
Yeah,
was
but
just
it
giving
was
him all kinds of shit about it.
shit. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. And we had a couple of guests there that weren't paranormal. You know, I mean, one that was both of those two guests that we had, they were both in both of our mutual agreement that we needed to have them on.
Well, yeah,
You know, we
Jimmy
had
K
the
because he actually
Jimmy
helped us
K.
a bit.
He kind of helped us out a little bit. Plus, when we went on that first investigation there down there at Sanatorium Hill, that one time, we went and kind of took a little cover out of the rain for a little bit inside of his house before we went back up there and filmed again
Yep.
at night. You know, so and then he handed us off that mixer board with the headset and all of that.
Hmm.
So kind of donated to the cause, as he
Yep.
said.
That's when we first got our.
Merry
That's when we
Christmas
got our
early.
feet wet.
Yeah, yeah. So he was behind us right from day one when he found out what was going on. So we
And
had to
then of
pay him a
course,
little props.
yep. And then of course we also can't forget that we have a really good friends up in Grafton that has really helped us a lot.
Oh yeah, oh
And
yeah. But we always
that
pay them
is
props
oh, we
every
have
chance
to.
we get.
We
Every chance we
absolutely
get,
have
we
to. Off
always.
the rails, Tom and Molly,
Yeah,
freaking awesome.
Tom's
They
always
are
participating when he
absolutely
can.
awesome.
Tom's always putting his 2 cents in when he can, and that's okay. We like that. We need that little comic
I
relief.
think if it wasn't for Molly, we wouldn't be as far as we are.
No,
I
no, it
tell
was
you
all.
honestly,
A
that's how
lot
I
of it was
feel about it.
Molly telling us all the
Yep,
little tips and
giving us
tricks
giving
about
us
the
little tips and
software,
tricks
where to go
and
for
things
this, where to go for
to
that.
look
Yeah,
for and things to do, how to do this and how to do that.
you know what to use, what
Yep,
programs to use,
yep.
what websites to go to. You know, yeah, oh yeah. Molly was a big help.
Yes, she was. She was
So
a much needed help actually, a much needed
yeah,
boost to get us going in the right direction.
and then because of the terrible times we're in, the COVID thing,
Yeah, with this freaking pandemic that's gone down.
we felt that it was necessary because a lot of people out there, and I'm sorry if this offends you, but they thought that this is fake and a hoax and bullshit.
And they're just being stupid.
So we brought on a guest that was actually experienced COVID firsthand, and she was great. She was also a good friend of mine from way back when.
Hmm.
I've known her for a long time because we used to work together in the video store business. But her name was Erin DeBeck, and she is doing good. Just to give you all an update, she's doing real good, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think she's quite feeling up to her total self yet, but she's getting there slowly. So she'll beat it. So no doubt. So, but we've had some interesting guests. We've had some fun guests. There was Christopher Kai House.
Oh yes, Christopher Guy House. In
You
fact,
know,
he's one of them we actually got to meet and investigate
and
with.
and and do an investigation with him and his wife,
Yep, and that
and
was at the
and
Grafton Mill.
and again, Tom and Molly off the rails because they're the ones that got us in
Uh,
there.
yep, they're the ones that got us set up with that and got
So I
everything
mean,
situated.
there,
I appreciate
there
that.
they are. There they are. Tom and Molly helping us again. You know,
Yep, yep,
but
definitely. Well, of course, our first private home investigation was Tom and Molly's house.
hmm
So you know
it sure was.
that they purchased that house. I think they said back in October of 19, and had some interesting things happening in there. And
Yeah.
we went in and we did catch some interesting.
And it was also I think our friendship with Tom and Molly and off the rails and all of that also helped us get Christopher Kai House on our show. I'm not sure, but it was a
Hey,
possibility.
still is a great show.
But I mean, it was our reason. It was one of the reasons for me to check his name out, and then I check his name out, and then it's like, yeah, because he also does some interesting things besides just the paranormal world. I mean, he does the Twisted Film Festival,
Yep. Don't forget it.
Twisted Dreams Film Festival. You
Don't forget
know,
about T.
oh, and then there was T. Krulos. Yeah,
Yep.
he was He was a he was just came out with that book uh, that was about that one dude. Damn it! Now I'm drawing a blank. I hate it when that happens. Don't you hate it when that happens? Come on, help me.
Yeah, yeah. What am I supposed to do to help you? Look him up. I can look him up. So don't be dead airing us here. Come on, keep talking.
I'm not trying to dead air us.
Keep talking.
I'm trying to find what I'm looking for. Yeah, but he's also one of the local people from Milwaukee that is an author. And what was that book? It was. I'm trying to find it. It's been a while.
American Madness.
Well, no, he also came out with. It looks like he came out with a new one. Wisconsin's Legend and Lore. Legends and Lore. It looks
Okay.
like that's a new book on his list. You know, but he was a great one to talk to about all kinds of different legends. Oh, at the time we had him on, it was American Madness was the book we were talking about and promoting.
Right. That's the one we were talking about and promoting at the time.
Right. So he's a local author, a local paranormal investigator, and I think he is also the one that was
Isn't he also the one that runs the Paracon?
that. Yeah, I was just gonna say the Milwaukee Paracon. Um, and they did that virtual thing, and I got a chance for the first time this year to watch that 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 whole thing. You know, I got to watch, and we got to see Nate Godfrey talk about what
Wildcat
was that?
Mountain.
Yeah, Return to Wildcat Mountain, the documentary they made. You know,
Hmm.
and and that was one of those guests that's kind of on my bucket list to get. That's been hard to kind of nail down him or his mom, because Nate Godfrey is the son of Linda Godfrey, the woman that wrote the book on the Beast of Bray Road. You know,
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, since we're putting a documentary of that together, we need to get a hold of her if we can.
hmm
That's a definite.
she's not an easy person to nail down.
I know.
Um, but yeah, T was a great one too. Um, we got to talk to him a lot uh, about a lot of different things, and then there yeah, and then he's part of the like the director of the Milwaukee Paracon, and that was all virtual this year. And there was a lot of, and Mike was the one that kind of emceed it and was introducing everybody.
Yeah. So anyway, how far are we in now?
And
Do you want to start?
then we had there was a like Ben Stevenson, you know,
Yeah. Tobias Whalen.
Tobias Whalen.
He's local.
Yep, he's local.
He was a good interview.
Oh, um, and then there was another one about the cryptids, the lizard people, Shaitan Nor,
Oh yeah, Shaitan Nor.
Noir. Yeah, Shaitan Nor. She was a fun one to have on too. You know,
Yeah, she had an interesting perspective about
theory. Yeah, an interesting theory on the lizard people.
lizard people. But yeah,
Yeah, that was. I mean, I really liked listening to her theory on that. It was quite intriguing. She had me fascinated. You know, and she even had lizards for pets, if I'm not mistaken, if I
I think she
remember.
had she had several different
Because
kinds
she
of
said,
animals as
yeah,
pets, if
because
I
she says
remember
something.
correctly.
If you look hard enough, you might see him behind me.
I think she had birds, possibly a lizard, a dog or two. Yeah.
And then you had Kathy Owen from the Paranormal Truckers.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a truck driver, and travels around and she does the paranormal stuff, investigation.
Yeah, we've had some interesting guests, and Dale. Speaking of interesting guests and stuff, and I don't want to seem like I'm favoring Dale or not, but I kind of look at him because as a mentor in a way because this guy's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
Out of all our guests, I believe Dale has been doing it the longest.
I've also got a chance to talk to Dale on the phone several different times, about, one thing or another, and then it always leads into paranormal talk for almost an hour or something. Um, but it's great because talking to this guy, he's like a mentor is the way to look at him. I got a lot of respect for the guy.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I was so looking forward to actually meeting him in person too, because he was supposed
It'll
to meet
happen.
us. I
It'll
know,
happen.
but that was just it. He was one of these ones that we were going to meet up with and do this, investigation with, and that was another, and that's happened. It's like a lot of the local ones. It's like, yeah, we got to get together sometimes, and it's like it's just too bad this COVID thing got in the way because we probably would have already been out with some of these people, you know.
Yeah, but in a way, the COVID was a kind of a
A
blessing in
blessing in
disguise
disguise. Yes,
because
yes, I
if it
agree.
wouldn't have been for the fact that we were in lockdown or shut down or whatever the hell, and not being able to get out and do some of this stuff,
We wouldn't have gone into
we
the
would have never thought
interviewing.
about doing the interview stuff and got in contact with everybody we've already talked to.
Yeah, and StreamYard made it that much easier.
Oh hell yeah! I love StreamYard. It is freaking awesome. And the thing
You know,
is, we're paying for the
I,
service, but we could still use it for free
right.
if
If
anybody
anything
anybody
happened,
else wanted to use it. They could use it for free.
right. Plus, I've seen and I've kind of checked out all the new services that's come out since. I don't like Zoom. I'm not a fan of Zoom.
Nor
Never
am
will
I.
be
Never
because I
have
got to
been. Never
don
will be.
I got to download something to my hard drive. With StreamYard, I don't have to download nothing.
Nope. Everything's run right through the browser.
you know. And if I want to have a guest, I can have up to 10 guests total. That means with Mark and I, that's 8 guests added to us.
Unless we're sitting
Make
in the
for
same
10
studio.
unless we're sitting in the same studio. And then you got, you know, what more could you want? Now if I wanted to do that the old-fashioned way, well, that'd be a little more difficult. The way we were doing it to start with, you know. I mean, but yeah, StreamYard made it easy. StreamYard made it an easy choice. I mean, we always talked about having guests before, but we had to have Skype installed on our computer plus the XSplit and pay for that, and then try to figure out how to configure the two to work together each time we had a guest, and it
Yeah.
just made it too complicated. So
So
then we just
that's why we that's why I
so after the
appreciate
COVID
streaming.
thing hit and the StreamYard came out, and again, Tom and Molly, I think it was, that told us about
I
StreamYard.
believe yes, I believe it was Miss Molly that told us
Yeah,
about
about
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Again, Molly helping us. Thank you again, Molly. About helping us, we get the StreamYard thing going, and it's like, okay, well, that's a no brainer. Let's pay for that, and here we are today, having gone through 20 guests in about 26, 27 guests, somewhere in there. I'm guessing, but
Yeah,
I know I'm
I
close.
can't I think I
I
wrote
know I'm
everybody down, but
close.
I can't remember if I did.
I know I'm close, but see, here's the thing. In 6 months' time, and that wasn't every day. So now think of what we're going to be able to do every Tuesday and Wednesday starting our
It's
next
not
season.
Tuesday and
Or
Wednesday.
no, Wednesday
It's
and Friday.
Wednesday and Friday.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Wednesday and Friday.
That's
But
okay.
you think about that,
You're not perfect.
we're going to have a lot harder decision next year to make. So we might even do a voting thing next year. We've got
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
ideas. We've got a lot of ideas in mind. We've had a lot of great guests that's made this a lot more fun than it was just investigating too, because now we don't have to come up with ideas so much for show content. We either have a guest or we talk about our investigations or we try to fit in both. But we are doing investigations the minute we can get back out because our bucket list keeps growing, not shrinking. It's going the wrong way. So So we're going to continue to book guests and just throughout the year, but we've got a lot of big plans, and we will be making some announcements hopefully soon when decisions are made. Mark and I will be finding out more Monday about one project or one thing that we're considering that could take us down a different road and a different avenue. Um, like I said before, our guest list is full until March. But if you want to be a guest and talk paranormal and have a paranormal team or a book that's based on something paranormal or anything based paranormal that you've been doing or whatever, drop us a line. We'll check it out and we'll have a chat. You know, we've always been about promoting our guests. You know, that's been a big priority when we've had a guest on. You know, right now today, since it's just Mark and I, we're going to promote our site. You know, and again, there are changes coming to our sites and our pages because we changed things to an LLC as of last night. So we don't know what roads it's going down, but Mark, you and I both agree this has got bigger than both of us either thought this was going to get. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's been a lot of fun, and when we thought, I mean, back in March when this COVID thing started hitting, and it's like I got worried. I thought, shit, what are we gonna do? You know, we can't do stupid shit. We can't keep talking about stuff out there that we can't find sometimes because there isn't that kind of news often enough to talk about when it comes to the paranormal world.
True. Very true.
And we couldn't go out and investigate. We couldn't keep talking about our old investigations or what we're doing or you know so I mean when this, like you said, when this happened, I mean, it made things better, and all of a sudden we started growing more. And I want to thank all of our fans that's been watching us, been following us, been following us on YouTube, subscribing to us on YouTube, following us on Facebook, participating in the conversations with us when we're online and we're live. Um, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be going so strong. We wouldn't be getting better. We wouldn't be having so much fun because it is fun. You got to admit this is fun.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of
I
fun.
mean, the whole idea of having the guests and and promoting them like their books or they're promoting their books, their websites, their groups, their
Promoting them.
yeah, and listening to their stories, like some of their favorite places that they've investigated or some of the most famous places they've investigated. And this is back here. Speaking of that, this is back to Janet Ramsey and her group. You know, there's that one other place that I think they said something about like some type of hospital or asylum or something that they were talking about too. That's in Michigan that I wouldn't mind going to either if we got out that way. You know, but yeah, I mean, we've learned so much from these guests about places that are not in Wisconsin. And I mean, going to some of those places. I mean, just being a part of after hearing about the unexplained festival in UK, it kind of makes you want to go there.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. I
You know,
actually looked into that and checked your website out.
yeah,
There's a lot going on there,
I know it.
and I would
It's like
absolutely
a
love to go
huge
there.
deal. It is like a really huge deal there, you know, and it's been a lot of fun, and all I see things doing is getting better and more fun. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, we didn't get to shrink down our bucket list, but we sure did add a lot to it and learn about some of these places in Wisconsin too from some of these local people that we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, Yeah, that is true.
you know. And here's another spoiler for some people. We've got some interesting guests coming up. We've got some that are even local, and I'm not going to give any shout outs to any of them because I don't want to give anything away because anything can happen between now and then for them and for us. Who knows? So
Yeah,
I don't want to make any promises or guarantees until it gets real close. Um, but we've got some great guests lined up. Um, so far, between now and March, none of these guests have been on our show yet. Okay, not one of them. Okay, so these are all going to be first time guests. Um, I can tell you they're from all over. You know, some are going to be from states that we haven't talked to people from yet. I don't think there's anybody out of the country yet, but I'm we're only booked until March, so the middle of March right now. I think we're booked right up till St. Patrick's Day because St. Patrick's Day is a Wednesday, so I
cool.
think we're booked right up to there. But we've got a special coming. We're working on a documentary, but don't look for the documentary until probably 2022. We're just going to be working on trying to finish it. And with that being said, and anybody that watches this later or watching it now live, but I don't see that because there's nobody live up there right now. But I want to say this anyways. Anybody out there that's seen the Beast of Bray Road, know of stories about the Bray Road, or a witness to any of that paranormal activity that goes on Bray Road, we'd like to talk to you, please, about it because we are putting together a documentary on the Beast of Bray Road, and we'd like to get somebody that's got some firsthand experience, and the more we can get, the better. We'd like to hear from you. So check our website out. There's places to contact us there and give us a way to contact us, and we'll get back to you ASAP. I'm constantly watching the email and everything every day. So, because we are going to get back to starting that, and we will make a time arrangements to try to get to you if you can't get to us, or have a StreamYard conference to have an interview about it. Because that's a big project that we're working on, and it's going to be our first documentary. Neither one of us think we can write a book, but we'll see what happens. That could be the next step down the road. Who knows? I mean, we've got a lot of exciting ideas. We don't know exactly how we're going to get them all put together yet, but some of them will be get put together, and others will be get put in the trash can because they're not so good. But it takes time. But I can tell you that this next season is going to be better than this last season, just because we hopefully we won't have no COVID shit anymore,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
or the world will just get safer a little bit, enough for me to go out, you
That'd be
know.
nice too.
Um, that's all we need. I mean, because we've got. If you people only knew our bucket list and some of the places we want to go to, you'd be excited too. I mean, I missed this whole. This was nothing compared to the first year we went out investigating. Man, we were out. I sat back and thought about it. We were out almost every weekend, if
Yeah,
weather permitted. If
yeah.
weather permitted, and 2019 was a pretty rainy summer.
Yeah,
Because we
it was.
actually had we actually had plans in 2019 to try to go to that farm, out in the Bray Road area,
Hmm.
and because it rained so much and it was flooding that land so much, we were never able to get out
You
there in
couldn't get out there.
2019. You know, and so, but every chance we got that it was a nice weekend, we were out there investigating someplace. This year sucked, man. I really hate to say it, but it sucked, and I can't wait for 2021 to start. I really can't. So
Well, it's close.
I hope all you people out there, though, stay safe on New Year's Eve. You know, wear your masks if you go out. Try to drink, and if you
Drink at
drink,
home.
drink at home. If you go out, take a
Do
cab.
everything. Do
Don't drive.
everything.
You
Do
know,
everything virtual.
take a cab.
Get together with your friends virtual. Drink virtual.
Yeah, well,
That way you
whatever.
don't have
Yeah,
that way
you're
you're not
safer.
gonna have a problem.
But
You'll be safer.
if you must go out, please don't drive and drink.
Especially if you're drinking.
Take a cab. Ask if they got a safe rider program. You know, those things might still exist. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty
They
sure they do.
did back in my they did back in my day.
I'm pretty sure they
But
do.
we're gonna have a hard decision to make. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about this again, but we're gonna talk about it behind the scenes.
Now, aren't we gonna announce our
Do you
decision?
want to announce our decision? I think Corby's got to be on that list.
Oh, Corby. Yeah, Corby's definitely on that list.
I mean,
I've got 3 written down right now, but I'm not sure who else I can throw on here.
all right. Well, let me hear your 3.
For me, Corby,
All right, we agree on
Reverend.
Corby.
Remember, we need to pronounce. We need to address them properly.
Whatever.
Reverend Corby
Okay.
Mitlade or Mitlide. Um, she's definitely going to be
Yeah, you
on
agree,
my.
we agree on that one. Okay.
Dell, because
Because Merrick,
I definitely will choose him.
I can agree on that one.
And there's this one out of Michigan that just I enjoyed the hell out of that interview.
Janet Ramsey.
Janet Ramsey and her crew. I really enjoyed that. It was a lot
So
of
that
fun.
that's
A lot of
makes
a lot of
that
goofiness.
that makes
A lot of
3.
goofiness.
That
So
makes
that's
3.
3. Now, if you had 2 more to add, who would you add?
Man,
I
I
know
don't want.
I've
You know,
got others, but I don't want
I
to
have this
offend
problem because
anybody.
I really don't want to insult anybody because they were all
Oh, they were all
fantastic
great.
guests.
They were all great, but
I had I
those
had
3.
I had some great fun with a lot of them, but I gotta admit, when we had Karen Fry and Jolene Jackson, Jolene Lockwood Jackson on
Oh
there,
yeah, I had a lot of fun with that
I
too.
had a blast with them in the UK and talking to them about the festival of the unexplained and kept paranormal, and yeah, I had too much fun with that one. So I'd have to add that to that list.
All right, I can agree with you on that because we had a lot of fun with them.
And then and then and then it would get down to an extremely tough decisions because I don't want to offend people, and this list is. It seems like it's
Oh, we
mostly.
had the hardest part is picking the ones that we want
It,
to feature on our website,
it
and that's
seems
what
like
this is. The 5
a
that we're
majority
picking.
of this list is going to be like females, but I can't help it because, and I don't want to insult her partner, but like I said, this is an extremely tough choice. I don't want to accept, not partner, but they work together quite often. But that Ma Barker episode really, really, really fascinated me a lot.
Yeah.
I and I'd hate to say that it's either that or harder because of the Charles Manson thing. And I was really fascinated with that too, and had blasts behind the scenes, and that's also another reason why I wish we could record what
Oh yeah.
happens behind the
Yeah, it'd be
scenes
awesome if we
sometimes
could
and bring
record
it out
one
like
of
a
each.
special edition
Yeah.
thing. Like clip it all together as a special edition thing of some of the best moments behind the scenes or something.
But I have to
Uh,
agree with you on at least one of those.
you know, I mean, but there were so many other amazing ones. I mean, just being
Oh
able
yeah.
to, you end up with this team that you go and meet out in Whitewater, and then a year later, we're doing guests, and they agreed to be on our show, and you
Hmm.
thought it was going to be one, and here it was, the whole
They're all of
team.
them on
Right.
one camera, and
But still, they were all
but it was
there, and
it
it
was
was like
awesome.
cool as hell, and they remembered us, and it was kind of fun. It was
Oh, it
cool.
was more than kinda. It was really fun.
Those
It was a
those
lot of fun.
those things, those little kind of special moments make some of those ones kind of, because you've got that special tie in a way with the guests because you met them prior to this point, but you didn't think you were going to end up doing the guest thing and then having them on. Because at the time they were
True.
doing this, I mean, those guys were big shots when we saw them. I mean, they were out
Oh
there
yeah.
with their trucks all with the logo on it and all of that,
Hmm.
and you know,
Oh, hang on now.
walk walking
We've had a
around with a
few.
guy walking around. I know, but they were walking around with a the guy from the
I know.
Chamber of Commerce from Whitewater that day. You
Actually,
know,
I didn't that logo. I didn't put that logo on there when we were back then when we were.
no, it wasn't there. But I mean, back
That
then,
was February. That was in February this year
I mean,
that I put that on.
so here you are. Here you are. We're just starting out, 2019. We're just starting out. We see this U.S. paranormal research team out there, and we're just these little guys, and they actually gave us the time of day and talked to us.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I thought that was cool as
But
hell
let's see.
because
If
you
I
knew they were
remember
big shots
correctly,
because they had the trucks, the trailer that was attached to the truck, and they're pulling this big ass equipment out. They got the
but if I
Chamber
remember
of Commerce,
correctly,
dude, access to the tower.
if
You
I remember
know,
correctly, somebody was
I
too
was. I
guiltless to
was
walk
nervous.
up there and
Yeah, I
talk.
was. Yeah, I was afraid to walk up to him and talk to him.
I'm the one that went up there and initially made contact.
And then of course, we
And of
did
course,
that.
that's me.
And then of course we did that again. We did that again with PIM, Paranormal Investigators of Milwaukee. And it was Noah and Gravy. And
Actually, Pim, we talked to Pim before we met
yeah,
U.S.
I know.
Paranormal.
But we talked to them at that show there, and then talked to them and stuff like this. And here we are. They were real nice and stuff and cool.
Hmm.
And then the next thing you know, we got them on our show too.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a blast because I was getting a kick out of the way Noah was harassing Gravy.
Quit
It
hitting your
was fun.
desk.
Yeah, I'm
Every time
sorry,
your
but
hand comes down on that desk, the camera vibrates.
so
I don't
maybe
know.
maybe somebody's under the table.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. She's probably asleep out on the couch
Uh, this
or
is
in my
so damn
chair.
hard. This is so
So,
damn
so
hard.
like I said, it's a tough decision. I couldn't tell you. Um, I think I think just because of the message involved. Okay, I think it should stay up there for a while longer, and that way we don't have to decide right now because this is going to be a tough decision next year.
What stay up there?
So add the four. We got to make a decision between. I think we put Dr. Christy Sumner up there with. Wait, you had three, right? No, so you had
Well,
three.
you told me to add Karen Frey,
All right, yeah. So that makes four.
and
So if we can't
if we
decide
put
on a fifth,
Dr. Christy Sumner up there, that'll be five,
all right,
and then I'll name them off if you want.
all right, that's it. All right, we'll do it that way.
So we have Reverend Corby Mitlide, and then we have Dale Kesmerick, Dr. Christy Sumner, Janet Ramsey and her crew, and Karen Frey and Jolene. What did you say, Jolene Lockwood?
Jolene Lockwood Jackson or Jackson.
Jackson. Okay.
Yeah, Lockwood Jackson. Yeah. All
So
right. I'm trying
those
to
I
get.
think will be our top five.
All right, I'll get them up as soon as I can.
And to
Um,
all the others, Um, we really enjoyed speaking
Oh
with
yeah,
you. We
we
really
really
enjoyed the
enjoy it. We
interview.
want everybody, just
You
about
are
every,
more than welcome to contact
come
us to
back,
come back.
come back again. Yeah, we had a blast with a
And
lot of you people, and
I
we've learned
apologize that we didn't pick you, but
there ain't a whole lot of time.
it's
I mean, we're already an
hard
hour
to
and a
go
half into
through
this
this.
show. Yeah, we
It's
already
hard
went
to
an hour and
choose.
a
It is
half.
so hard to choose.
We'd have a 3 hour show if we had to talk, go through everybody and mention everybody and talk about all our favorite points because there are so many of them.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to make next year's episode of this show very difficult with a very lot of difficult choices. But who knows? We may have a different format to follow for that or something else in mind. Anything's possible when it comes to the paranormal world. So keep that in mind too. Um, Now, we are at December 26th of 2020. We're almost over with. Um, let's say we come back with a special New Year's Eve episode.
We got 5 days. I don't know if
All
we're gonna
right.
do a New Year's Eve episode.
I,
Everybody's gonna be celebrating. They're not
all
gonna
right.
want to watch our ugly asses up here.
All right. We can do one. All right. Let's do one for Saturday the 2nd then.
I don't care, whatever.
Or do you want to do Wednesday the 30th?
I don't care, whatever.
Well, we'll make an announcement. We'll figure it out. We're going to make an announcement. We'll be
I
back
don't know
one
why
more
you want to
time.
do another one, but
I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to come back one more time. We're going to make some official announcements that
uh
we're that we're keeping you in the dark about, and we might have more to say that we can't tell you quite yet. So,
that's a possibility. Yeah.
so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But there is news out there that it still has to be announced. So that's why
It's some things we have to
we didn't plan on it,
look
but
into.
with all the brainstorming we've been doing because Mark created a monster, as he puts it,
Oh my God, did I ever?
that we're in
And
we're in
the
for a
funny
fun
thing
time.
is, I didn't realize the kind of monster I was going to make.
Yeah, but we're in for a great time this time. This next time around coming up. This next time around is going to be a lot more fun. You know.
Definitely, if we can get out more often,
Yeah.
I so want to get out and start
Yeah.
doing more
Get
investigations.
some of that bucket list cut down a little bit more. I know we'll be adding more to it as things go by because we're learning so much locally as well as places that are pretty close by too. And I'm just hoping that this I'm just telling you that I got a feeling it's going to be a lot better this next season. So one way or the other, however it goes,
Might be a lot more fun.
however it goes, it's gonna be a lot more fun. Oh, that's guaranteed. That I can guarantee. One way or the other, it's gonna be a lot more fun because no matter what happens, we're not stopping. This is too much fun. I'm having a blast, and I gotta admit this. I'm a video game junkie. You know, this whole year that we've had guests since June, it's been 6 months. I haven't turned on my Xbox in the office. Now, Mark, tell people what the Xbox in the office is meant for only.
For you to play games
Playing
on.
games on. Exactly. I've got an Xbox in my bedroom, but that's for Netflix or Hulu or something. But I haven't, since we've started this, I haven't picked up my
I thought
Xbox.
you had a
X,
PlayStation in your bedroom.
I got both. Anyway, I haven't played my Xbox One in over 6 months. I actually canceled the subscriptions to Gold and the Game Pass that I had. Just because
It's all right. I don't have a game system.
this paranormal stuff has been too much fun. Yeah, you quit playing games totally
No,
at
I
some
haven't
point.
quit playing games totally.
No, you're playing
I
them on
still
the
play them.
computer
I
and
still
those
play them on my
retro things.
PC
Yeah,
here.
on the retro things.
And then I took that old computer that old
Yeah, I
touchscreen
know.
that I got, and I
I
turned it
saw
into
that.
a retro
I saw
machine.
that. I
So I've
saw
got over
that.
5,000 games on it.
So, all right. So we're gonna end this. So we're gonna make an announcement soon. Expect an announcement probably um, sometime Monday evening. We'll be making an announcement of when the next show will be. Um, and then after that, more announcements will follow. But we do have some private announcements coming up, and it's going to be a lot more fun. That's all I can say. So stay safe, stay warm,
Stay healthy.
and don't get too drunk on New Year's Eve if you go out. Don't drive.
Yep.